Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. And welcome back, everybody. We like to stay in the forefront of what's going on, especially related to your health. And one of the biggest trends of 2025 looks like it's going to be many of us cutting out processed foods. We know, for the most part, they're not good for us, causes inflammation and so much more. We're gonna start from that point and continue on and look at ways to eat healthy, fasting, how much protein, all of that. And she's got amazing insight as she practices Chinese medicine in many different ways, including acupuncture, fire cupping, and so much more. And herbals, too. Got to include herbals. She's out of New York, and Dr. Kelly joins us here today on the program. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, Steve. How are you?
Very well, very well. And this is something that I've been pondering for a while in terms of eating healthier. So let's look at that trend of more and more people this year cutting out processed foods. When we say processed foods, how do we define that?
Well, processed food, from the word, you kind of like have a sense the food already pre-made, which means usually not 100%. Usually this kind of food, they put in some chemical to prevent it getting bad. That kind of chemical which is not healthy to us. And also a lot of container is plastic. So usually we can no, plastic is not good for our health either, right? Because as long as you use a plastic container, don't even talk about if you put the food with a very high temperature, which is going to make the plastic produce very toxic chemical to us. And also the container of the plastic, may get very tiny particles into our food. If we eat it, it's very bad for our health. So in that way, we kind of have a common sense. Processed food is not healthy.
Wow. So recently I read that there is a lot of research into microplastics, which essentially is what you're talking about. And these minuscule particles of plastic showing up in our waterways, showing up everywhere. We don't even know it's there because we can't see it with the naked eye. And many are saying that is what's causing a great degree of cancer right now. So that's concerning, and I never even considered. So let me make sure I'm hearing and understanding this correctly. You're saying a plastic container that the food touches that we eat could be a challenge to your health because the food that we eat may be picking up little tiny pieces of the plastic. Are we hearing that right?
Yeah, that's one of the reasons, because, plastic is not food. Our body cannot use it as a nutrition. If the plastic get into our body have to get rid of it. But if the particle is so tiny, our body cannot even get rid of it, it's going to stay in our body, which is toxin. That can cause a lot of problem, can make your blood vessel get too narrow because, there's something shouldn't be in there. Make the vessel too narrow, your blood cannot really flow through very smoothly.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is concerning. I never even took that into consideration because, let's be honest, mostly everything we consume comes from a plastic container. It's touching plastic. Now, on the other side of that, on our radar for a number of years is plastic water bottles and how you shouldn't leave them in a hot vehicle because it changes the molecular structure of the plastic, and that can also be challenging. But there you have plastic water bottle. Is that also what we're talking about here? That there could be minuscule pieces of that plastic ingested as we drink it?
Yes, I agree with you. If you leave a plastic water bottle in the car, in the summer, you can feel the water get very hot. So the plastic, gonna have some chemical get into the water when you drink it,
Sure.
Which is bad. So that's why we should try to avoid the plastic stuff, as much as we can. But of course, we cannot eliminate it. So, but we should try our best just for the good of our health.
Wow. And that also, I guess, comes into play when you take a container and you put it into the microwave. Now you're heating the food and the plastic's getting hot too. There's no escaping the plastic. There really isn't in today's world.
I know it's so hard because the plastic is so cheap. I mean, cheaper compared with other material. That's why plastic is everywhere. But just for our own good and for our next generation, for the earth, we should try to use the plastic as less as we can.
Wow.
I mean, it's hard, but we should try.
Got it. Okay, so when we talk about processed foods, I'm trying to get a better read on that. Let's say you buy a package of English muffins. Would that be considered processed food?
Well, any food pre-made, usually kind of like, I mean, there's a different degree, right? Some, like for example, some is pre-made, but it lasts like maybe a week. Maybe they don't put too much chemical inside. But some food, I heard, like for example, some fast food, you buy the burger from there, you leave it on the table for a month or even several months, it doesn't even change. It's still good.
Yeah.
Which means there's too much chemical inside. But there's so many people still go there to eat, feed their kids. It's very hard for the kids to resist because they give you toy, coming with the food because the toy, so the kids love it. But the point is the food is really bad. If you really care about your kids' health, you shouldn't feed your kids, that kind of food. I mean, maybe you let them try once in a while because, they're kids. They don't really understand how important the health is. They just care about the toy, care about, the taste. But it's really, if you leave on the table, the food lasts forever, which means it's not really food even.
I think about this.
So we
often.
eat food because.
So with the English muffin example, right? I'll buy a package. I split them in half, and one half is my serving because I want to minimize the carbs, just a little bit. So that package lasts a longer time than usual. But to your point, Dr. Kelly, I look at the English muffins over a period of time, and they look fine. And I have to guess if it was a freshly baked item, I wouldn't be able to eat it 2 to 3 weeks later. Like I'm looking at the package and I'm like, all right, is there any mold? I can't believe there's no mold on it. The expiration date was weeks ago. Seems to be still okay. So, to your point, we can't eliminate all of this stuff in our diet. It just is, it's what's available. But maybe minimize it by eating more, go to a farm stand, get fresh vegetables, which leads us into shopping for produce. A lot of stuff sprayed on them, pesticides, wax to make them shiny and pretty in the store. Buying organic fruits and vegetables, what are your thoughts?
Oh, yeah, actually, very interesting topic because I started to just go to the Amish store to buy my grocery, like started a month ago because, the Amish, they usually don't really like technology. Even nowadays, they don't have TV, don't have internet. Their kids don't have iPad, don't have iPhone like ours.
Yep.
Their kids are happy. So in that way, I think they will put less chemical like normal people like us. That's why I trust them more than, our modern shopping mall. So I go to the Amish grocery store to buy the grocery, milk, egg, bacon, whatever, meat.
Wow.
I feel it's more healthier.
Just because of their lifestyle and how particular they are. And I have to tell you, I was in the grocery store the other day and I make my own salad, put it together like a couple of times a week. And I like peppers. I just get little peppers and I'll just cut them up and I'll put them in the salad. And they didn't have the kind I normally get. So I saw organic. I'm like, all right, it's a little bit more money. I'm going to buy these. I have to tell you, they tasted so much better. They actually like had just like a pop of flavor of pepper, whereby in the past buying the other ones that aren't organic, they tasted all right, but they didn't have that like super fresh flavor to them. So I have to believe it's worth it if it's certified organic. I think that's the difference. You have to make sure that it's certified organic.
Although, yes, actually, it's a very interesting topic again about the organic and unorganic. Like Amish people, they don't really have organic label, I think. I mean, to this store where I'm going to, they don't really have organic label on their vegetable, but I can tell the difference. Like tomato and, cabbage, even the carrot. Like whatever I buy from this store, I can tell the difference compared with like other grocery I buy from the normal store. So in that way, I think because they put less chemical in their food, so their food is more fresh. So which is more healthier, which means we put less chemical into our body. So we have to get rid of it, or we even couldn't get rid of it. That's a lot of people actually got like disease or even cancer at a very young age. Like before, you usually hear people get cancer at like 50s, 60s. Now you hear people get cancer like 20s, 30s. Mm-hmm. And people even die at their 20s, 30s. Wow. Which is really bad because you would think, oh, the technology is so good, right? We have like super good doctors, they do surgeries, medicines, but people die at a very young age, which is really should make us think about what's wrong, what caused that.
Does make you wonder. And same thing with, we talk about milk and dairy products, how kids today are developing sooner because of the growth hormones that are put into a lot of those products.
Oh yeah, actually in my office, if it's a female patient, I usually ask them, what age did you get your first period? Some people say 10,
yeah,
which is pretty early.
Yeah.
Like according to the Chinese medicine book, the girls should get their period around 13. So 10 is like 3 years earlier than normal. Like you said, maybe because the hormone they ate from the milk or from the egg, from the meat, which is really bad because if you get your period at age 10, which means you're shorting your period time for like 3 years. Like usually normal age for women get menopause is about 49. So if you get 10, maybe you will get your menopause at 46 instead of 49. Meaning you cannot have baby after 46, which is really bad because a lot of people still want to have a baby, at the late 40s.
Wow. Didn't consider that, wasn't aware that shortens that amount of time. Diet. Let's talk about some of the different trends related to diet and your thoughts. Fasting. What are your thoughts there?
Actually, I think fasting is pretty good to some people. Of course, not to all the people, like not to the young kids, because young kids, they develop so much, so often, they need nutrition all the time. But for the adults, like if you already past 30 something, you don't have really very active. You sit at your desk for a long time, you don't even move. I think fasting might be good for you, especially for people who have like a little bit of weight. You want to lose some weight, try some fasting. It could be good for you because when you do fasting, you are using all the leftover in your body stored over there, but actually your body didn't really use it. In that way, you can lose weight. You can even get like a more like a healthier. For example, some people have like a bleeding gums or tooth pain, or they want to eat all the time. That can be due to stomach failure in Chinese medicine. Stomach failure can be due to food stagnation, which means they have too much food in their body. The body cannot even digest. Then the food accumulate over there, then generate fear. Then you will have tooth pain, you have like bleeding gum, you may have bad breath. You may like want to eat more even.
Now, what does fasting look like? So I have a friend. He fasts sometimes 4 or 5 times a week, but it's 16 hours. And I'm like, whoa, 16 hours? How are you doing that? He says half of that is while you're sleeping. So if you,
that's true.
So
I agree with you.
His first meal is like probably 11 o'clock in the morning. So I guess basically he's skipping breakfast in doing a fast. Is there any right way that you would suggest to do fasting?
I would say it depends on your schedule. For example, if you are really busy, like for example me, I kind of like doing fasting, but not like very specific 16/8, but it kind of like follow that rule. Like I eat my meal like maybe like 6 p.m. So I'm not gonna eat after 16 hours. So after 6 p.m., not gonna eat anything and don't even drink. But I would suggest you can drink, but I don't eat after 16 hours. And I feel pretty good actually. I don't really feel like a fatigue or have no energy or something. Usually I have a busy day, so after I get into office, I don't eat at all. I just treating patient one or the other. So after I finish, then I eat. So in that way, I don't really have like a regular 3 meals a day. So I may eat like 2 meals or even 1 meal a day. But I'm not heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Like when sometimes patient come in and say, "Oh, Dr. Kelly, I want to lose some weight. I want to look like you." One of the way to lose weight or control your weight is you don't have to eat 3 meals a day, especially if you don't feel hungry. Like in the morning, everybody think, oh, we should eat breakfast. But if you don't feel you're hungry, you don't have to.
I don't feel that I have to, but I feel if I don't eat, I feel fatigued after a period of time. And that actually happened the other day. I had a very light dinner. Then time went on. Then it's the next day. And then I'm like, I can't get myself going. I don't know what it is. I'm like, maybe you need to eat. So I ate. And I was like, I came back to life. What about keto diets, cutting carbs? What are your thoughts there?
I also kind of like agree. For myself, I also try to cut some carbs. I don't really eat like bread, don't really eat rice. I eat protein, I eat like vegetables, because they're essential, right? Like protein is essential to us, and vitamin is essential to us because the enzyme we need the protein for the enzyme. We need the vitamin, to help the enzyme to digest food. But the carbs, you can eat a little bit, but don't eat too much because all the protein, fats, and carbs actually can transform to each other. So in that way, you don't really have to have like certain carbs, certain protein, certain fats. If your body needs, they can exchange to each other. But the carbs, one of the problem about the carbs is we kind of like eat a little bit too much. Right? We have bread, we have rice, we have cupcake, we have cookies, and we have sugar. We drink coffee, put in sugar. We drink tea, we put in milk, put in sugar.
Yeah.
So a little bit too much. Because it's too much, that become a problem. That's why cutting carbs is kind of like a good idea. But of course, it takes time for your body to get used to it. I have been kind of like don't really eat a lot of carbs, and I feel totally fine.
It probably took you, I'm guessing, or others a little getting used to
Yes.
of not having carbs.
Yes, I agree with you. So that's why it takes some time to get used to it. Because to be honest, we all love carbs because it's delicious, it's sweet, right? Just like that kind of feeling just make you want to eat more. Sometimes when I'm like very tired or somehow I want to eat carbs too. If I see a cookie on the countertop, I will eat it. But somehow I know if I eat that, it's not very good because carbs can give you inflammation. Because we eat too much. Again, if you eat a little bit, your body just use it, digest it, that's fine. But the leftover carbs can give us inflammation, make us put on overweight. And also the carbs can combine with protein, make it rigid. That's why, when we aging, we start to have wrinkles, our joint kind of like stiff. We don't look like when we were 18 anymore because our body just cannot use so much like before. When we were 18, we are active. We're doing stuff, we're running, we're jogging. But, after you get to a certain age, you don't so active anymore. Your body just cannot use it.
Wow. And we don't even know we're adding carbs to a lot of stuff that we don't even need, and I feel everything's a habit. If you get into the habit of not adding that extra sugar to your coffee, or maybe add, something natural like stevia, a natural sweetener, to get away from the carbs. Final thoughts on diet trends and what we should be eating. What can you tell us?
So protein is very essential. Protein is essential to us. So, I mean, if you are like kind of like a vegetarian, you don't have to eat eggs, but I think egg is pretty good for the source of protein. And, vegetables give us vitamins, which is also essential because a lot of coenzyme is from, it's vitamin, it's from the vegetables. So protein and vegetables, that is very essential to us. So I suggest people, eat some eggs, eat some vegetables. You don't have to drink milk because the eggs can give us protein. You can eat some meat, but of course, like don't try to eat too much meat. Again, too much meat also gonna have something left over. Our body have to get rid of it. If we cannot, gonna turn into, toxin to our body.
Final thought, got about 30 seconds. Protein. How much protein should you have per day?
Actually, I don't really matter like you have to have too much protein. Just like every meal, have some protein, have some vegetables. So you kind of like balance. You have the essential nutrition for each meal. That's it. You don't have to measure it like, oh, how many eggs I eat a day. Like only one egg. If I eat like 2 or 3, it's gonna give me like, high blood pressure or something. Not necessarily. Yeah.
Yeah, and excuse me. That's why I have that half of English muffin. I eat protein. I'm sorry. I eat turkey meatballs for protein for breakfast every day. I just like it. Good source of protein. And I feel I should probably have some kind of carbs. So that's why I have half an English muffin. It's not as much as a full English muffin. But yeah, to your point, just balance. Have a balance of everything you eat. This is just a piece of what you offer in terms of Chinese medicine. We've talked about herbals before, acupuncture. You're available for consultation for anybody anywhere because it can be done virtually. And of course, you're located in New York City. Dr. Kelly, what's the best way to find you?
They can call me 347-885-1865, or they can go to my website, kelly121acupuncture.com. So on the website, there are phone number, there are email, you can submit a form. Yeah, my office is also convenient, like 121 East 60th Street 2A, New York 1022. The subway NRW 456Q is just right over there. So it's very convenient. You can call me, email me, text me, or can just, go to my website.
Yeah. And your website again is kelly121acupuncture.com?
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you so much for today. Learned a lot. Watching the plastic moving forward. Didn't even think of what could be happening. And everything touches plastic. Wow. Thank you. And we'll catch up next time we get together.
Thank you, Steve.
We'll be right back. Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Hi, this is Terry Crews, actor, former football player, game show host, father of 5, and all-around big dude. I'm also an expert on drama. I know all kinds of drama. There's the good kind that comes with having a house full of kids. There's the bad kind like season-ending injuries. There's the necessary kind like having an agent in Hollywood. And there's silly drama like the drama around my percolating pectorals. And then there's the drama you can skip.
Skip the drama that comes with not having your high school diploma or equivalency. Find free adult education classes near you and finish your high school diploma. Visit finishyourdiploma.org.
Or text diploma to 97779. Message and data rates may apply. Reply STOP to opt out. That's diploma to 97779. And leave the drama to actors like me.
Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.